The July 5th Prophecy Panic in Japan. Clapperboard Part 1. What was the July 5th prophecy? Let's start with a question. How can a comic book, yes, a manga, spark national panic? In Japan, there's a manga titled The Future I Saw. In Japanese, Watashi ga Mita Mirai. It was first published in 1999 by a female artist named Ryo Tatsuki. What made this manga unusual was that it wasn't fiction, not entirely. The author said she was drawing her real dreams she had while asleep. In one chapter she wrote about a vivid dream, a massive disaster hitting Japan. In July of 2025 that she didn't say what kind of disaster, but the date was specific, July 5th. Now here's where things get interesting. In the same book, she had included another dream. One that eerily resembled the 2011 earthquake and tsunami that devastated northeastern Japan. People noticed that years before it happened, she had drawn a dream that looked a lot like the Tohoku disaster. So naturally, some started to wonder. A great disaster will occur in 2025. That page exploded online. TikTok videos, YouTube breakdowns, Reddit threads, people began to whisper, then shout. Page exploded online, TikTok videos, YouTube breakdowns, Reddit threads. People began to whisper, shout. Don't go to Japan on July 5th. It's going to happen again. Even though the manga was just a collection of personal dreams. Even though the author herself said, this was never a prediction, the rumor took on a life of its own. Moneybag Part 2. Japan's 560 billion yen loss. The fear didn't stay on the internet. It crept into real life, and into the economy. By late June 2025, travel agencies across Asia started getting cancellations, especially from tourists in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and mainland China. Whole tour groups, dozens of people, pulled out of summer trips to Japan. Hotels, especially in Kyushu and southern Japan, started seeing empty bookings. Domestic travelers in Japan also changed plans, just in case. One hotel manager in Kagoshima said, our group bookings dropped to zero overnight. And it wasn't just hotels, tour buses, restaurants, souvenir shops, all lost business. Then came the numbers. Nomura Research Institute estimated the total loss at over 560 billion yen, about $4 billion USD. Gone in just a few weeks, not because of a disaster, but because of fear, and ironically, on July 5, 2025, nothing happened. No earthquake, no tsunami, no power outage, just silence. But the economic damage already done. Part 3. Experts versus rumors. As the rumors spread, Japan's meteorological agency, the JMA, took action. They held a press conference on June 27, 2025. And they made it clear. There is no scientific basis for this prophecy. Earthquakes cannot be predicted. They explained that even with today's technology, no one can pinpoint the exact date of an earthquake. They also reminded people that the manga was a personal memoir, not a scientific warning. But many people weren't convinced. Some said, if they're denying it so hard, maybe it's true. This is the conspiracy loop. When people lose trust in institutions, even honest information feels suspicious. Some local governments posted announcements online. There is no reason to cancel travel. This is misinformation. Please stay calm. But the fear had already gone viral. And once something goes viral, it's hard to stop. Puzzle Piece Part 4. The psychology behind the panic. So, why did people believe it? Why would anyone take a manga dream and treat it like a real prophecy? First, because Japan knows disaster. People here live with earthquakes. They still remember the horror of 2011. The fear never really goes away. So when they hear a dream with a specific date, even from a comic book, it feels possible. Second, let's talk about anxiety. Psychologists say, people prefer a bad certainty over total uncertainty. Japan, disaster, earthquakes, horror of 2011. Anxiety, bad certainty, total uncertainty. In other words, knowing when something bad might happen feels more comforting than not knowing if or when it will. So, July 5th gave people something concrete, even if it was false. Third, group thinking. In Japan, there's strong social pressure to follow the group. It's safer to join the majority, even if you're not sure. And finally, social media. Platforms like TikTok and YouTube don't reward accuracy, they reward emotion, shock, fear, suspense. Joining the majority, uncertainty. Social media, TikTok, YouTube, emotion, shock, fear, suspense. That's how the July 5th prophecy spread. Not because it was true, but because it got clicks. Closing thoughts. This wasn't a story about a disaster. It was a story about information. About how one dream, in one comic book, created real-world fear, real-world consequences, and a 560 billion yen impact on Japan. We live in a world where truth moves slower than rumors, and where fear can go viral. So next time you hear a prophecy online, remember, check the source, and don't let fear write the story. Disaster, story, information. Dream, comic book, real-world fear, consequences, 560 billion yen impact, Japan. World, truth, rumors, fear, viral. Prophecy, online, check the source, fear, story.
Thanks for watching, now don't be shy. Click that like, give it a try. Subscribe today, come ride the wave. Sunshine vibes, that's how we play.